Welcome to Conversations with My Real Friends. I'm Jennifer, and I'm here with my friend Ed. Ed is a trust and estate planning attorney, and we're going to be talking about managing real estate and not managing real estate via what California has, which is called a small estates affidavit. So let's talk about what it is and the new law that's coming into effect that's going to change the rules relative to small estate affidavits.
Right. So here in California, we have a very formal process called probate. And essentially, you need to go to probate when you have not left instructions after you pass away with respect to the distribution of your assets.
Right.
So the good news is California has had a version where you do not have to go through formal probate called a small estates affidavit.
Right.
And essentially, it sounds what it means. It has to be a small estate. Now, historically, these numbers have been quite low.
Right.
But what's exciting, come April 1, 2025, these numbers go drastically up and they carve out very special exceptions for real property for your personal residence, for example.
So let's talk about that.
Great. So separating the two categories, personal property and real property.
Right.
Personal property is going up to $300,000.
That's great. I mean, that's almost double.
That's almost double. It is currently at
are.
$184,500.
Right.
It'll go up to $300,000. So we're talking about non-real property assets.
Correct.
Bank accounts, investment accounts, retirement accounts, for example.
Right.
If you pass away in the state of California and it is April 1, 2025 and it is less than $300,000, you could use a small estates affidavit for personal property.
Great.
Yes.
And then what about real estate?
So real estate is exciting and interesting. It's a little confusing because there's different categories. The most exciting one is for your personal residence.
Right.
And essentially, you could use this format for your personal residence so long as that property is $750,000 or less.
Right. That's a big number.
That is a big number, but in California, I'm interested to see what ends up happening because our real estate here in California is fantastic.
Right.
That $750,000 is not equity value, it's fair market value.
Right.
Right?
Right. So it's still only going to affect a portion of our population.
That's why I'm waiting for these statistics, Jennifer, because if the legislature really cared, I think they would have increased it to the average value in the county, for example, which I think is greater than $750,000. So we'll see.
Ventura County's average home value is more than $1 million.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
That is it. We're still looking at small, right? We're still looking at below median values for this process.
Exactly.
But considering what the old rule was for real estate, which is still the rule if it's not your principal residence, this is a huge jump.
This is a huge jump, and I'm glad for that part of it because the prior number was like $55,000.
Exactly. It's in the $50,000 range.
And we joke because if you are using this for California real property, I want to see what this is.
What do you own?
What do you own?
Real estate that's
what is
less
this going to be used for in practicality, right?
I joke because like your doghouse is more than $50,000.
California,
right?
California.
I have done cases with small estates affidavits, and it's vacant land in the desert where
you're kind of begging the appraiser to say it's $1 less, which is what happened to me. I'm like, should I send him cookies?
So with real estate, it does not avoid the court process, a small estates affidavit, because of the title issues.
Exactly.
And you do have to get what's called a probate referee to value the property. So it's not a freebie, quick, nothing process.
That's right.
But still way better than a full probate.
Yeah, it's not a full formal probate. It is considered an expedited version, but you still have to follow the rules.
Exactly. So hopefully no one needs your help on these. But if they do want to plan to not need a small estates affidavit, how can they reach you?
You can catch us online at Oakcrest Law. We're Oakcrest Law Group, and our phone number is 818-597-8800.
Great. Thanks for joining me, Ed.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of Conversations with My Real Friends. We'll see you soon.